Buonasera a tutti. My name is Mrs. Rossi. I am going to pull up a presentation that the World Language Department prepared for you. In the meantime, I just want to say that we are all looking forward to seeing you and your children in the near future. And Miss Edwards, I don't know how to pull up my presentation. If I just click on it, are you able to see it?
You'll want to click at the bottom of your screen. You should see share.
Oh, there it is. There it is. Okay. Buonasera a tutti, benvenuti. Thank you for being here with us tonight, and welcome to the World Languages Department. My name is Maria Rossi. I teach Italian at New Magretti High School. Also in our department is Ariola Sulai, who teaches Spanish, and Brother Dominic Wetzel, who also teaches Spanish. We just want to talk to you about some offerings in the World Language Department. We currently offer Spanish and Italian. Students will get a chance to choose their language. Whichever one they choose, New Magretti has two requirements for that. One requirement, which is to take 2 years of the language. I can say, and students would tell you, that they end up staying beyond that required 2 years because we normally have a really good time in the World Languages Department. One of the strongest methods that we use to engage our learners in the content, which can sometimes be a little daunting to learn a new language, the grammar, the vocabulary, is project-based learning. And what this does is it actively helps the children engage in an experience rather than just being able to complete activities, grammar lessons, etc. And the beauty, like I said, is that they learn from the experience that you're going to open their eyes to. Some examples of student work is that when we teach the language associated for weather and talking about the weather either in Spanish or Italian, our students will then take all that information that they've learned and be able to deliver their own weather forecast. Also, in the more advanced levels, when they develop stronger proficiency, they'll they'll write out and they'll prepare a cooking show segment that they'll present to the class. And a very popular one just recently was a Shark Tank project where our students got to pitch a proposal to our school sharks of a product that would in some way help the community. And they did this all in the target language. And they came up with some very clever pitches. Just wanted to introduce you to our entrepreneurs. This is also part of a project that they included with their autobiographies that they ended up writing completely in the target language. And now I'm going to pass it over to our Spanish teacher, Ariola Sulai, who's going to talk to you a little bit more about our offerings in the World Language Department.
Okay, hello, hi. I am Ariola Sulai. This is my 4th year teaching in the Archdiocese. I've been teaching Spanish and Italian. And as Mrs. Rossi was saying, and this year, of course, I'm teaching Spanish all levels at New Magretti. And the traditional teaching that we all know, the main idea is to teach a language in a way that students can acquire in a very natural process, a little bit like the language, their own language, the main language that they learned. So For this reason, a very successful technique that has been used so far is through the comprehensible input, which means reading and listening in a way that students can understand easily. So the introduction to the vocabulary is made not just as a simple showing the words and trying to learn by heart, but instead, in a comprehensible manner, trying to associate the words with the story or with the person or with the character in the story so that the students can retain the information as long as they can. And for this purpose, the students in the Spanish language and my classes they will be engaged in a lot of reading stories, and they will listen to some stories and dialogues in Spanish. And the goal of all this is to have a conversation as clear and comprehensible as possible and to be engaged in the storytelling. So in addition to this, we will have many cultural projects like Ojos de Dios that we have been doing every year, Dia de los Muertos, where they bring a lot of very nice creative projects on the Dia de los Muertos, which is a little bit like Halloween. We'll have a project for El Cinco de Mayo, as well as we will watch a couple of movies. Last year, we watched the movie Coco that you can see, and the students watched the movie in the target language and with subtitles, of course. But at the end of the movie, they were asked to describe the characters in the movie, and all of these, they have to describe and analyze these characters in the target language. And that was very interesting because they were so engaged and they could memorize also the words very well and easily. So there will be many more cultural events and celebrations in my Spanish classes this year. This is regarding my presentation. I will pass you on to Brother Dominic. He's also a Spanish teacher in our department. I don't know if he's still there.
Hola, hola a todos. Estoy muy feliz de estar con ustedes esta noche. So I'm very excited to be happy to be with you all this evening. I teach Spanish 1 here at Newman Goretti. And to piggyback kind of on what Ms. Sulay was saying, I do focus a lot on culture because I see culture as a way of building bridges and connecting the language, not only the language is being learned, not only to the grammar and the vocabulary, but also to day-to-day life, and make connections between students who might be my students in my class in Philadelphia with my students also with students that are also in other parts of the world, so Spain, Chile, Mexico, and so forth. One of the things that we also do in my class is starting in the spring semester, we start watching a Spanish soap opera, it's not soap opera, Spanish sitcom called Extra, which really meant is to help students learn the language. But it's kind of like set up the way Friends is set up. So there's enough humor. Last year was the first year I did it, and the students were actually Wikipediaing all the actors. So it was quite exciting to have them talking about what the actors were doing now. And I was like, wow, I didn't think that you guys were that into it, but they were. I also use a lot of closed reading activities using comprehensible input. For instance, one of the activities we do is we take a week with the song Vivir Mi Vida and so by Mark Anthony, and we'll break apart the song word by word, phrase by phrase. And then we start looking into what the song means. So even though I'm teaching Spanish 1, the students are able to get a grasp of what the meaning of the song is, not just like at face value, live my life, okay, but what is the deeper meaning? We also cover folklore, art. Today we talked about Pablo Picasso a little bit. So it's a way of also building bridges and connecting cultures. And that's one of the things that I enjoy with teaching Spanish here is that the students are able to see by the end of the class, students are able to see the world differently. And I think that's really the important part of learning any language is that you're absorbing the information of the target language, not just I just call it this, but not just the boring stuff, which is the grammar and the vocabulary, but also the more exciting things. You get to see the dances, the vibrant colors of the outfits for dances, the different folklore, and celebrate and get a different take on how different holidays that we might have here in the United States are celebrated in different parts of the world. So that we can, if anyone has any questions, feel free to email us at our email was on the slide, or you can feel free to ask us through chat or the other means available.
Thank you, Brother Dominic and Mrs. Rossi and Mrs. Soulage. We really appreciate you sharing about our World Languages Department. As Mrs. Rossi mentioned, our students are only required to do 2 years, but so many of them continue for 3 and 4 years because they have so much fun in their language courses. They learn the languages in such a hands-on and interactive way. They're always doing really cool projects, and it truly is a lively and exciting department. So we're really proud of the work that you're doing. Thank you for sharing with us tonight.
Thank you.